What are we going to talk about today? I want to talk about the fact that meditation, it's in a way a pause. It's a pause that we create. So in this whirlwind of happening of actions on the outside, as well as the whirlwind of thoughts on the inside, at a certain point, we decide, okay, I'm going to pause. And I take this pause to observe what is arising within me. How am I feeling? What is happening in this moment? Pausing is a difficult thing. It's becoming more and more difficult for a modern man for different reasons. Two are the main reason, actually. One is what brings this restlessness to the modern man, this feeling of restlessness. The first thing is that I think very few of us, when we grow up, receive the message that you are just perfect the way you are. I don't know about you, but I received a lot of, from when I was very little, and I've seen it with many families, why don't you do better? You can do better, you can look at the other children, how good they are. Why are they not like them, And there's a constant either comparison or pushing this little child to be something that is not, something more, something better. And this keeps going. Then you go to school and who is the best, what are your what do you call them in English? How are your marks, your votes? And then, and then it goes into career and who is higher and lower and this whole thing, and then you struggle and you rush your whole life through this, trying to reach a better position in your career. So it's a constant moving away from yourself into some hypothetical better self than you are. Okay, and this is part of the ego. And we were talking last time of the ego. The ego is like made by all these folders, remember? Folders in the hard drive. So the ego is formed also with those folders, obviously, be better, be something else, be somebody else, be somebody, don't just be nobody. So that's a very strong imprint that we receive that is deep in our psyche. It's like, I'm not okay. I'm not enough the way I am. Okay. So there is a restlessness inside that, okay, but what do I have to be? Where is this thing that I have to reach? There is always this search for something that we're not. So that's one reason that we are actually almost afraid to stop. And the second is that, of course, we live in a society and in a world that is promoting much the same, like succeeding, competing, and also having, So there is this big push to have more. Again, this tension of, oh, I don't have enough, even though it's not true. But, the message is like, well, how can you live without having the latest iPhone model? Are you crazy? This is much better than what you have. Absolutely, you're a loser if you don't have the latest model. And of course, you don't need the latest model. Just to make a very simple example, right? This consumeristic society that is pushing to have more. So we, through ages and generations also, we move from a state of being to doing to having. Yeah, so you can imagine in 3 steps. So initially there is being, nothing to say, beautiful. But then we start doing that we can have something. So for example, if you want the latest model of iPhone, maybe you have to generate a little more money. If you want a bigger house, yeah, you have to work harder. Whatever it is, or even if it's not a money thing, but you want to have more, you want to be appreciated more and seen more and recognized more, then you have to be somebody, you know? So from being, we move to doing, and so that then we have. And that's a black hole, you know, from when the doing is finalized to be somebody else or having more than you actually need. It's a completely futile doing, and it's a big leakage of energy. That energy could be taken, put into being instead, but instead it leaks out towards this idea that I'll be happier, or I'll feel better, or I'll be more loved if I have more of these things. And so a lot of our doing is still geared towards that, which is a sustaining and supporting a fake self. Our ego is not supporting us, our true self. So this is one reason, 2 reasons why it's so difficult. Psychologically, there is something inside that keeps moving, and also physically we keep moving. And moreover, we're moving faster and faster. Yeah, because the society is accelerating as if faster is better. So stopping and pausing is almost like, whoa, really? Can I really stop? Can I just be? Really? Yes. That's what we were born for, to be and enjoy this beautiful life and be in the present moment and enjoy it fully. And not running around like headless chickens our whole life. Yeah. So this is an important thing to see. And I'm not saying that doing is wrong. Let me specify this. When you're doing something that you love doing, and that's why you do it, that is creativity. That's exactly creativity. It doesn't matter what you do. It can be a beautiful painting, it can be playing an instrument, it can be cooking a meal for yourself or for your loved ones. It can be washing the floor, you're just cleaning your room. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, it's a creative act. That is very connected. From doing to being is always a bridge. That kind of doing is connected to your being because you love what you do, you're present with what you do. The other doing, that's the problem, is the doing that is finalized to reach something that is actually more of a dream than anything else. It has no consistency. That has no creativity in it. It's just a big leakage of energy. So it's important to live our life learning to pause as much as we can, rest and sit if you can, but even while you do things, make sure you do them with presence, whatever you do. See if what you're doing is really what you love doing, or maybe not. And maybe you want to change. And sometimes there are things that we have to do. We don't particularly love them, but there is a necessity. Yeah. And then something happens, okay, I might, it's raining, I'm driving my car and suddenly I have a flat tire in the middle of the highway and it's pouring rain. Well, I'm not gonna probably love to change that tire, but I have to, otherwise I'm stuck there, right? So I'm gonna get out really soaking wet, change the tire. I'm not loving it, but instead of going like, oh God, why is this happening to me? I hate this, you know? That's unnecessary, right? So I respond to what is needed in that moment. I change the tire and I realize, well, this is what's happening. There's nothing I can do. I got wet, so big deal. I change the tire and I leave again. Yeah. So even when there are things that we weren't particularly love doing, but they need our response in that moment, then we see that. We do it without any complaining. It's acceptance of what is. Full acceptance of what is happening. Yeah. So the doing can be always, in a way, beautiful if it's supported by awareness, mindfulness in doing. So this is not, the doing itself is not the problem. Okay. So pausing, it's a beautiful habit. And I recommend to you to try a few times during the day. Yeah, I do it myself. So sometime I'm in the middle of doing something and then I say stop, and I just close my eyes or even keep my eyes open and just feel, stop everything, stop every action outside and inside and say, what does this moment feel like? Let me feel it deeply. Let me pause and feel it. And that can be like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Doesn't have to be like a long pause, 15 seconds, doesn't matter. And if you really enjoy it, you might stay longer, that's okay. Especially these days you have the time. So pause more often. Just as a habit, it's a beautiful habit to start. Let me pause, let me feel this moment. How do I really feel, Because when we are taken by the whirlwind of action, it's more difficult to feel and to be present. The slower we move, the easier it is to be present. That's a fact. When your practice deepens and when your mindfulness is more and more crystallized into what you do, then you can move faster and faster and still be present. As a matter of fact, runners know that very well, because you can run and be very present too, right? Actually, running can be a beautiful meditation. But generally speaking, in the beginning, it helps to move slower so that we are more aware of the movement of what we're doing. Yeah, it's easier for me to be aware of how I'm moving these hands now while I'm talking, because there's not a lot happening. I'm moving slowly. So small gesture when we're more relaxed and we're moving slowly are easier. And then we practice that. And then the more strong our presence become, mindfulness in action, the faster we can move, maintaining the same presence. So that's a beautiful thing to practice. Okay. And like we said last time, because it's beautiful to sit in meditation, it's beautiful. First of all, because we create this pause. It's a longer pause where we can feel ourselves. Sometimes that's why we don't stop too, because we're afraid to feel, right? Like, whoa, 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 if I stop, if I pause, I'm gonna feel something that I'm not comfortable with. So that takes me to one last thing I want to tell you. Much like we said with thoughts, we observe the thought when it arises, or actually while it's happening, if I'm lost in it. And in the moment I notice it, it stops, it dissolves, and I come back to the present. That is true for thoughts. For emotions, okay, let's open this chapter. What do we do? For feelings and emotions, okay. Much like with thoughts, it's enough for us to see them and they're gone. There's nothing to process. We can at the most process and see, like we were doing, is this a thought relating to the past or to the future? And we do this to get to know the mind better and exercise that muscles of awareness, right? But that's about it. We don't need psychoanalysis. It doesn't go anywhere. That's enough as far as the mind is concerned. Feelings and emotions in particularly, on the other hand, they need to be felt. Okay. A feeling, that's why it's called a feeling, because it needs to be felt. Emotions needs to be recognized and acknowledged. So it's important that, and you know, the deeper you go in yourself, the more what is hidden in subconscious will also come up. So there will be feeling and emotions that have been pushed under the carpet at a certain point because you are not comfortable feeling them or you are not ready. That's okay. But what happens in meditation is that the tip of the iceberg, which is our conscious mind, starts getting bigger and bigger. And the bottom of the iceberg, which is the subconscious mind, starts getting smaller. Yeah. So the light of our awareness starts spreading slowly and brings the subconscious becomes slowly conscious, which is a beautiful thing. That's what we want. We want the whole thing to be light. We don't want dark spots, dark corners. But in this process, you will allow things to come up from the subconscious and become conscious. So there might be emotions, sometimes even connected to past traumas, even many, many years ago, something happened and you couldn't deal with it and you pushed it under the carpet. It goes into the basement, it goes into the subconscious. As I bring more awareness to myself and I practice more, that happens by itself. Things starts also surfacing, and welcome them. You're lucky that it's happening. It means you're progressing. You're bringing more light to your being, to yourself. So you let them come up and you feel them. There's no way an emotions will dissolve like a thought does if you don't allow yourself to feel it. Okay? So the less we push it away, it's not going anywhere. It's going to hide in a dark corner and it's going to affect your life without you knowing it, first of all. And in the practice, through the practice of meditation, it will allow itself to come up, to become conscious. So let it come up, feel it, acknowledge it, and then say, okay, move on, come back to the present moment. If an emotion keeps coming back, if a certain feeling or emotion keeps repeating itself, it means it's not quite been felt completely. Yeah, you haven't quite acknowledged it enough. Okay. So sometimes what I do, if something is recurrent, it's recurrent in me, it's like, wow, what is this? I have this anxiety in my heart, you know, and I keep looking and feeling it and it doesn't go away. It keeps coming back years after years or month after month. Then I do what I call an inquiry, where I sit down and I just dedicate my sitting practice that day just to that. So I sit, I invite that feeling or that emotion to arise. If I'm lucky, it does. And then I go deep into it, even deeper in feeling it. I try to feel it to the very roots. Okay? Scary. Sometimes it's scary. But I tell you, that will bring healing. That will bring healing. That's the only way that thing will eventually dissolve. Like a thought is a soap bubble, that will also dissolve like a soap bubble, that emotion. But through your owning it, through your feeling it completely. Sometimes if it's not very deep, it's enough to acknowledge it and it's gone, okay? But sometimes they're deeper than that, and then you have to dedicate it more time and more presence. Okay? I had to say that because we opened, I don't know how that chapter opened up, but it was necessary. Today, we practice a new anchor. And this anchor, beautiful anchor, which is used a lot in the traditional Buddhist meditation that is called Vipassana. It's awareness of the breath. Very simple and very beautiful. We bring our attention to the breath. So when we're meditating, we're resting between thoughts in that space. There's nothing to do, just observing. If you feel, actually not if you feel, today we practice that. In that space, let's bring our awareness to the breathing. When I say bringing the awareness, I also mean we don't do anything with the breathing. We just observe it. So I don't try to make it deeper, make it different, faster or slower. No. We don't tamper with it. We just observe it. Because the depth of this anchor, or this technique, I don't like technique, it's an anchor. The depth of it is of when we really relax and there's nothing to do and we just observe the breath. At a certain point, we feel like we realize that, oh, I am not breathing. I am not breathing. The breathing is happening by itself. Yeah, much like my heart is beating by itself and the blood is circulating by itself, the breathing is also happening by itself. And so you can enter this space when you realize that and you observe it, where you feel its existence, its life that is breathing through you. That's what it is. And that brings an incredible sense of peace and relaxation. It's like, oh my God, this is great. I don't even have to do that. I can just be here, yeah, in my watchfulness. I can just be this witnessing consciousness that doesn't have to do anything because existence is breathing through me. I don't have to do it. That's a beautiful feeling when that happens. So we observe the breath as it comes in, and you can observe it more easily at the nostrils, at the point of entrance of the air, or you can feel your belly. That's another beautiful place. Actually, I like the belly the most because the belly, if the diaphragm is relaxed, the belly will gently move as you breathe. Yeah, the more relaxed we are, the more that will be the case. In fact, when we sleep in the night, we breathe and the belly's moving up and down because we are relaxed. The same if you look at children, very small babies, they always breathe from their belly because they're relaxed. So that is in the relaxed state of being, our belly will move in and out with the breath, and that's a beautiful feeling. So you can focus on that. If that is difficult, or if your diaphragm feels tense, particularly today or whatever reason, you can also feel the air entering at the nostrils. Or you can be aware of both points, the nostrils and the belly. That's not a problem. One doesn't exclude the other. Yeah. I will guide you a little bit through the meditation. And yeah, let's do that. Let's sit in a comfortable position. If you can, with your back straight as much as you can. But very important that you're comfortable, yeah? Because if you're not, then you'll be disturbed by not feeling comfortable, and that's not good either. As we were saying, we are not here to suffer, but we're here to enjoy this beautiful moment where we pause and we rest with our own presence. So when you're ready, you just close your eyes and start bringing the attention inward. How does my body feel from the inside? Let's do a quick scan of the body, starting from the head. The face muscles. How is the face? Can I relax around muscles around my eyes, around my mouth, the jaws? Moving down to the neck and the shoulder, releasing everything. Down to the arms and hands. And the back, shoulder blades. Down all the way to the kidneys, lower back. Your chest, diaphragm and belly. Can I let go of any holding? Release it. If there is any, just release. We don't need it right now, huh? There's nothing to do. And down into the hips and pelvic area. Checking with your awareness through your thighs. Releasing the knees and calves, all the way to ankles and feet. Yeah, start feeling like you're emptying yourself. You're becoming more empty, more relaxed. And you also become aware of the weight of your body. As you relax, the body is sinking more into the cushion, into the floor, into the chair. Allowing yourself to be pulled by the earth. Mother Earth is there to support you. And I might become aware of my breath now. Observing how the air comes in and out by itself, without changing anything. Just observing the breathing happening. And just by observing it, your breath might become a little deeper, but not because you do it, but because you're nourishing it through your attention. So if that wants to become deeper, you let it be, you let it become deeper. If your breathing wants to relax more, you let it relax. But you don't do it. Let it be. Its natural self. Noticing the fresh air coming in at the nostrils. Noticing your belly gently moving with the rhythm of the breath. Feel the freshness of the air. That is energy, it's fresh energy coming into your body. We also call it prana, life force. You can sense or imagine this life force coming in and nourishing all your cells, bringing fresh energy into your body, life energy. And you might feel you are a little bit expanding as you breathe in, as this life energy comes in, makes you feel a little bigger. It helps you expanding a little bit. Just enjoy this feeling. Feel how refreshing and rejuvenating is to let this prana energy coming in the body through the air, nourishing your whole body, making you feel expanding. Now observe the out breath. Observe as you breathe out how you are relaxing more. You're letting go of something. You're actually letting go of everything. With every out breath, you release any tensions are still there, any memory, any thoughts. All that is unnecessary to be in this moment gets released with your out breath. You might notice that as you release with the out breath, in that moment you also sink a little bit more into the earth. How your sense of weight underneath is also increasing with your out breath, with your letting go. Your out breath connects you with the earth energy as well. And you may become aware that at the end of the out breath, there is a pause before the in breath starts again. Just notice that beautiful pause that happens naturally. In that pause, there is a lot of stillness. Nothing is moving. In time, you will notice that the more you're relaxed, the more that pause tends to become longer. If you find yourself drifting away in thoughts, you just notice it without any judgment. Just notice like a cloud passing in the sky and you let it go. And bring back the attention to the natural breathing that is happening. Observing how the breathing is happening by itself. What a beautiful thing. The life is breathing through you in this moment. Just being here and allowing existence to breathe through you. Nothing else needed. So simple. It's so simple to be present. Once in a while, you can check your body again from the inside and see if there's any tension is still collecting, and you release it with your out breath. You can let it go into the earth, give it to the earth with your out breath. The earth can take it, no problem. Feeling the expansion with the fresh air coming in, the nourishing, and the relaxation and letting go as you breathe out. Life and death in one movement. Two sides of the same coin. In and out. Light and dark. It's all beautiful. And very slowly and gently, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Maintaining that presence. Even when the eyes open, nothing changes. Still feeling the breath. We don't stop breathing because we open our eyes, right? Still happening right there.